Welcome to Spencer Hospital Health Talk. I'm Rebecca, and today joining me is Abby Madden and Cassie Oleson, two of our nurses here at Spencer Hospital. And what's even more exciting is that Abby and Cassie were recently recognized as 2026 Great Iowa Nurses, which is a very special statewide recognition that honors nurses who go above and beyond in their profession. So congratulations to both of you, and thanks so much for joining me today to talk a little bit about what it's like to be a nurse. Thanks for having us.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, first of all, tell us a little bit about your nursing journey here at Spencer Hospital. What departments have you worked in? How long have you been here? Give me the basics and the background.
Well, I started in 2014 actually on same-day surgery in PACU. I joined an incredible team down there. Got married, and then I was expecting and wanted just something a little bit more daytime, and then the position opened up at Madden and Cassie Center, and it turned into a passion of mine, and so I have been there for somewhere around 10 years. So it's been wonderful. I love it, and it's where I call home.
Oh, that's so great. And Abby, tell us a little bit about your journey here.
Yeah, I've worked in the ICU here for the last about 4.5 years. I'd worked somewhere else prior for a year and a half, and then there was an ICU opening, and critical care has always been an interest of mine, so I applied here.
Well, wonderful. We're so happy to have you, especially since you're one of our great Iowa nurses. How did each of you choose a career in nursing?
I always wanted to be a nurse. My mom was a nurse, and I loved hearing her stories when she would come home from work and the impact she had on other patients. She would get recognized in the grocery store all the time, and I just wanted a career where I could change someone's life like that.
And are you being recognized in the grocery store now?
Yes, every now and then.
Isn't that the beauty of living in a small community?
Yes.
Yeah, you really are making a difference. That's awesome. And Cassie, tell me a little bit about your journey.
Well, I chose nursing because I wanted to serve others. We also have a pretty healthy history of nurses in our family, but I didn't know how God wanted to use me right away when I was trying to decide what I wanted to do. But ultimately, it was like the perfect way to serve others and health and science and all of the things. So it was a perfect fit. So it's been great.
That is awesome. Now, I have heard that when you become a nurse, it does change you a little bit. So how has nursing changed each of you?
It's definitely changed my perspective on life, kind of like appreciating those little moments. It makes me a stronger person, but also a little softer. I also lost my dad unexpectedly a few years ago, and so that definitely kind of helped me relate more to my patients and their families and have a lot more empathy in those difficult moments.
Yeah.
I have to agree. It makes you appreciate all of the little moments. When I first started at the Madden and Cassie Center, I was transitioning from PACU into oncology during my maternity leave, actually. And on my maternity leave, my second to youngest sister was diagnosed with leukemia. And so it was a God moment for sure that I was transitioning into oncology as she was going through this huge life-altering diagnosis. And so I got to see from the family side, from the family's perspective, about how all of these physicians and nurses went above and beyond for this 21-year-old who just got the most devastating news. So that is when the desire to be in oncology turned into a passion to serve others the way they served my sister.
Wow, that's so powerful. Now, something that I hear a lot about is nursing is not something you do solo. You work with a team. So tell me a little bit about the importance of teamwork in nursing here at Spencer Hospital.
At the Madden and Cassie Center, we thrive off of teamwork. I feel like we're a well-oiled machine. Everybody kind of works off of each other. We pick up where others leave off. We're never left hanging. They're just a wonderful group of girls to work with, and they're more like a family. Coming to work is just always so enjoyable, and I look forward to being able to hang out with my friends and my family all day. And like everybody just helps each other, and ultimately being able to care for the patients and give them the best care with the great teamwork that we have is a beautiful thing.
And I think the interesting thing is, like, we hear from patients so often also that that family feeling that you have with your coworkers, that also comes across to our patients as well. Like, they feel like they're a part of a family when they're there. They're not just there for treatment. Like,
right.
there are people there that genuinely care about them as their family would. So
yes, and they are our family. It's like we love them like we love our own, and that's what makes, I feel like that's what makes Avon so great, is that you aren't just a number, you are family, and we're going to do everything we can to take care of you.
Definitely. And there's so much teamwork involved in the ICU as well. So
yes.
What can you tell us a little bit about that?
We're definitely like a smaller unit than I would say like Avon or some of the bigger units in the hospital. So if you have a couple of sick patients, it's really just you and your other nurse working.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have a coworker who's like ready to help you, it just makes the day go by so much faster. Like 12 hours working with one of your best friends, and you don't even have to talk to each other. You just know.
And just knowing you can always rely on them.
Yes.
So that patient care is always like number one.
Yes.
That's awesome. Now, what are some of the most rewarding parts, other than like your incredible teams, about working in your specific areas in the ICU and in Avon?
I was always drawn to critical care just because honestly, I'm kind of a nerd and I love to like learn.
That's okay. You can be as nerdy as you want.
I like to read like research articles and that kind of stuff. So I wanted a field of nursing where I could like always be learning and thinking critically. And I just love what we get to do every day. Like we get to see patients on some of their worst days, get them better, get them to med surg, and then eventually hopefully get home.
Oh, that's great. What about you?
I would have to say that the most rewarding part would be at first when patients walk in our door, they're scared, they're anxious, they don't know what's coming. Them. And just for them to receive the information, to know they're not alone, to know we have their backs, and to see them become comfortable and the trust that they develop while they're here with us, knowing that they're in good hands, and for them to start out as just fearful, and then to create those lasting bonds and relationships and the friendships and everything, it's a beautiful thing, and I really enjoy being able to be a part of that.
I love that. Okay, can you each share a time in your career where it really reminded you why you chose nursing? You know, you come in every day, you do great at your job, but there have got to be a couple of those moments where you're like, oh my goodness. What were those moments for you?
Yeah, a patient that comes to mind when I think about that is a patient I took care of several days in a row. She had been in the ICU after surgery and had had a really difficult surgical course. Was intubated and then had been re-intubated, so definitely had a rough week.
Mm-hmm.
And when we finally were able to extubate her, she said that she'd been praying to God that she'd be able to thank the people that saved her life. And so we were all kind of like teary in the room when she was telling us about this. Like she'd just been through this terrible experience, like didn't know if she was gonna live or die. And the first thing she wanted to do was thank us for saving her life.
Oh, that really shows the impact of what you do every day. Ooh, that's a good one. Cassie, can you top that?
Probably not. Probably not.
Not to put you on the spot or anything.
No, this is one that I recall from over on same day. It was a patient that was going to be having a biopsy, and she was just so fearful, and there were tears, and it was just her and I, and so we shut the door and we prayed together, and she felt such a peace come over her, and she was ready to go and get it done. And then later on, her daughter actually stopped me and thanked me for praying with her mom, and that the biopsy and everything came back great, and that it was just such peace and comfort for her in that moment. So being able to share that peace with her and give that to God instead of shouldering all of that is.
And I think that's what's so special about both of you, but really all of our nurses here. You come in every day and you do your job, but you don't forget that what's normal to you, somebody coming in to get a biopsy, can be really scary for them. And so you all have like such great humanity and you just truly care about patients. And I think that it just comes across so often. So thank you for that. Okay. And kind of when you think about this, nursing can be emotionally draining. Like you have some big wins where you feel like, oh my gosh, I made such a great difference. But you can also have some really tough days too. So how do you take care of yourself so that you can continue to care for others?
I'll go. Yeah. I have a 40-minute drive between Grettinger and Spencer Hospital, so I give those 40 minutes to God and tell Him to use me however you're going to use me, and I hope that I can just do my best work, and that I give everything to Him, and for me to be His hands and feet, and it gets me ready mentally to come in and just do a good job. And then on the way home, I wind down so that I can gear up for my kids and my husband. So taking those moments to yourself to just be able to meditate and reflect and pray and like just remembering that you can't like just keep your cup full.
That is great advice.
Yeah.
What about you?
Well, I'm not ashamed to admit that I take antidepressants and go to therapy really regularly, which I feel like has really allowed me to be the best nurse I can be for my patients.
Yes.
Kind of having that outlet to talk about those hard cases makes me able to like come back and do it all over again the next day. So
I love that. I love that. Thank you for putting that out there and for being so brave and really just always caring so much for your patients. Okay, what is something about nursing that people outside of the profession might not fully understand?
It's not a job that you just like clock in and clock out.
Tell us more.
At the end of the day, you replay your shift and those hard moments. Like, did I do the right thing? Like, did I advocate for my patient enough? And you worry about that patient when you go home. There have been nights where I wake up at 2 a.m. and I'll text the nurse working like, hey, how are they doing? Because I woke up and I'm just thinking about them and I just want to make sure that they're doing the best that they can do.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I completely agree with Abby. You're thinking about your patients and their families. Like you might clock out, but I agree. You go home and you think about them all the time and wonder how they're doing. And you send those messages to your friends that are at work and say, hey, or will you check on them or whatever the case may be, because your heart's just in it. Like you don't stop caring and you don't stop the compassion just because you're at home. Like they're always on your mind. So I agree with Abby completely.
It probably says a lot about who you are as people, but probably that's something that you see in all of your coworkers also. That's just who nurses are. You just care. You care too much to leave it at the office. Okay, how do you build trust with patients and families during some of their most vulnerable moments?
I try and just like look them in the eyes and say like, I believe you, and if you feel like I'm not listening to you, make me listen.
You want to make sure that they feel heard.
Yeah, like I always want to advocate for my patients and their families. Like say a doctor's not concerned about something but the family is, I want the doctor to become concerned because they are. I don't ever want them to feel like we don't believe them or we're not listening.
That is really great. Any other thoughts to add to that?
I agree as well. Just the getting down on their level, kneeling by the chair, kneeling by the bedside, so that you can have that that intimate connection with them, listening to their questions and concerns, because ultimately it's about them and making sure that their needs are met and their concerns are addressed, and doing everything that we can to make their experience the best experience that we can.
I love that. Okay, what advice would you give to somebody who's considering a career in nursing? because you guys both have quite a bit of experience.
Yeah.
And you've gone through a lot of difficult situations in nursing, and you've had a lot of wins. And part of being recognized as one of our great Iowa nurses is that you offer a lot of mentorship to your coworkers and members of your team and other nurses here in the hospital. So, kind of, what advice would you give to somebody who might be thinking about a career in nursing?
It's not just a career, like it's a calling. Like you're not going to be able to turn it on and off, and just being ready to have like that heaviness on the hard days. And I definitely didn't take for granted like having like healthy like family members. When my dad passed away, I understood why some of these patients and families got so emotional. Where back then I was just like, oh, this isn't even that bad, like they're fine. But now I really try and listen to those patients and families and show up for them on the hard days.
Oh, that's great. And Cassie, what advice would you have for someone considering nursing?
I would, if anybody is considering it, it's the most rewarding career, I think. You're not only there to touch the patients, but it goes far beyond that. It's their children, it's their families. It's not just the patient. Like you're touching a lot of lives when you care for others, and I feel like there's no better feeling than serving others and making an impact in the world. Being able to use your gifts to care for others and showing that compassion, and you leave every day with the most rewarding feeling. It might have been a hard day, but you came in and gave it everything you had, and
you made a difference.
And you made a difference. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. That seems like very good advice. If you're interested in nursing and you seem like a really great human who wants to make a difference, go to school to become a nurse, and then we'd love to have you join us here at Spencer Hospital.
Absolutely.
We always are looking for new members of the team. Oh. Okay, what does being a part of Spencer Hospital mean to you? Because we talk about like the family atmosphere down in Abbott and how well you work with a team in ICU, and really in ICU, like you've got your team there, but you're working with people from other parts of the hospital as well. But what does it mean to be a part of Spencer Hospital to you?
I think it means working with the best of the best, from the kitchen to the DI to OB to ICU, MedSurg, everybody. Like, we're just an amazing team. Like, you walk through the halls and you know everybody, and it's just everybody's so close knit and kind, and kindness goes a long way. And there's joy in the simplicity of a simple smile or a simple hello and all of those things. Like, everybody, like, it's the little things that make Spencer Hospital so great, I think.
And you do see a lot of smiles around here.
Yes,
you do hear a lot of hellos in the hallway.
Everybody's happy to be here.
Yeah, this is a friendly place to be.
Yes.
When I first started here, it was funny because you think like, oh, no one really wants to go to the hospital, but this is actually a pretty fun place to be. And if you have to go to the hospital for a reason, like, this is a really nice one to be at.
It is.
It's the people that make that difference.
It's the people that make the difference.
And what about you? What does it mean to you to be here at Spencer Hospital?
Yes, it's definitely a close-knit like community almost. What I love about my job is I get to float to a lot of other nursing units. And so I get to work with people that I don't get to work with all the time. And it's so fun to like catch up and get to know what's going on in their lives. And when they come to float to our unit, like, you just know everybody. And it's just like all these friends that you don't get to work with very often. And you get to hang out for 12 hours and seeing everyone in the hall, and you're smiling and saying hi. Like when you walk by the coffee shop, and just everyone just likes each other here.
Yeah. It's an odd thing to try to explain to someone. Yes. You almost just have to be here to feel it. And it's so funny because we see it through patient comments a lot also. Like they see it, they experience it, they feel it. Just like people care about them and people care about each other here at the hospital, and it kind of makes you feel happy to be a part of it. Okay, final question. My final question is, and I ask every guest this, can you share with us one healthy living tip? And this is going to be especially important coming from both of you because you're nurses. So what tip would you give friends or family to ensure that they live a long, healthy life? Like, what's your advice to them and to our community listening?
I would say to practice self-care. I think it's really easy as nurses to kind of like burn yourself out and have compassion fatigue. So just finding like creative outlets and hobbies on your days off.
Give us a couple of your hobbies that you tap into for self-care.
Yes.
I do gardening and reading.
I have a cut flower garden. I like to plant in my backyard every summer, so then I have fresh flowers all the time. I also like to walk my dogs, ride my bike, paddleboard. I like to spend a lot of time outside in the summers.
I love that. And I feel like you told me that you plant zinnias every year.
Yes.
And I will have you know that after you told me that, I was like, whoop, note to self, order my zinnia seeds. So
Yes.
they just arrived. And so I'm going to plant my zinnia seeds here pretty quick.
Yes.
So that I also have fresh, lovely flowers
Yes.
just like you this summer. I'm excited about that. What healthy living tip would you give somebody, friends or family?
Let me see. Well, being a mom, sometimes it's hard to come by those moments to take care of yourself, because you're always focused on the family and your children. But
and maybe as a nurse, you always focus on everyone else first.
Yeah.
And really, like, even if you're not a nurse, like, that's such a true statement for moms. They put everybody else before them. So.
Yeah, and those moments for you are very important. So one thing that I like to do is to get up an hour before everybody else, just to reflect and pray and have a hot cup of coffee and just have some me moments so that I can give my best to everybody when they're up and rolling, and just to really just remember who I am, why I am here, what I am called to do, and to just give my day over to Jesus so that I can be the best mom and nurse and wife and that I can be. So just taking a few moments for yourself every single day to just lay it out there and just prepare your heart and your mind to give it all to God and let him take care of you.
Those are both really great tips, and I hope everybody takes that to heart and you take a moment for yourself because you matter. So that is true. Okay, well, thank you both again for joining me today to share some of your thoughts. Thank you so much for being really incredible nurses here, and congratulations on being recognized as great Iowa nurses this year. We're so proud of you. And to everyone who joined us today, thank you so much for listening in to Spencer Hospital Health Talk. And make sure that you follow us so that when we have another episode coming up soon, you don't miss it. Thanks so much, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.